Pepper! Pepper! Sorry about that. Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Bookaholic Brown Name. Uh, Today I'm going to talk to you about fantasy series that I want to read this year. I usually do not do TBRs. I don't do monthly TBRs. I don't do yearly TBRs because I know that even though I make a list based on my mood, I might pick up books completely different than those one in my list. So I usually go with the flow and just choose a book which I feel like reading, or the genre that I feel like reading at that particular moment in time. But when it comes to fantasy, I decided that I should at least have a rough outline of the number of books or the book series that I want to read, let it be trilogy or standalone fantasy or duology. So here I am with the fantasy books or book series that I want to read this year. Forget my puppy's butt. Pepper! Pepper! Sorry about that. So, without further ado, let's get into it. If you have seen my previous videos, you know how much I love Six of Crows and how much I love Lee Bajuko's writing. I have the ninth house in my TBR to be finished before at least June this year. So it should not come as a surprise that I have chosen Trisha's trilogy, Shadow and Bone, as my first book series in this video. So this is how the books look like. I will show the individual covers as well. Beautiful covers, you know. Yeah, this is the first book, Shadow and Bone. You can see here it says coming to Netflix soon. So I actually decided to read this book because I want to watch the series, and of course I always want to read the books before the movies or the series. So I decided that I had to order it, and I ordered it I think last week sometime, and I got it delivered yesterday. You can see here when you open it, you have a second kind of a cover like this, and blurb by Huffington Post which says a master of fantasy. uh, and does it have a map? I haven't looked into it yet. I hope there's a map. I don't know, somehow I love books with maps. Oh yeah, it has a book. It's something similar to what we see in the Six of Crows book as well. Yeah, because it's the same universe, of course. And yeah, it doesn't look like that huge a book. It's just around 200 and come on, yeah, around 350 pages, but it's all big letters, you can see here. So yeah, not a biggie. I think I can finish it soon enough. Then I have the second book in the series. I hope this is the second book in the series. No, sorry, this is the second book in the series, which is the Siege and Storm. It has also some kind of embossment here, so it's beautiful, very beautiful cover. And this too has maps in it. Oh my god, it has a picture of wait, I just saw it. Where is it? Where is it? Don't taunt me. Oh, it has picture of a character, Nikolai Lanzo. How cute is that? Okay. And the third book in the series is Ruin and Rising. I love character artwork, so I'm already excited for this book. This also has a map in it. Yeah, so that's book series number 1, which is Shadow and Bone, and as soon as I finish it, you will definitely see a review coming. I just finished watching The Altered Carbon. I really loved it, and season 1 and season 2. I know that there are a lot of haters for season 2 of Altered Carbon, but I really loved season 2 as well, and in fact, I wanted more of it. However, Netflix, as usual, always goes ahead and cancel my favorite shows. No future seasons of The Altered Carbon. Netflix did the same thing with Sense8 and Messiah, and I am really pissed with your Netflix, really. I mean, come on, just understand your audience. Give us the stuff we need. We need different stuffs, not the same old romance and crime thrillers. I am surprised at the kind of series that get season 5 and season 10. I'm like, really, Netflix? Anywho, because I was in the hangover of Altered Carbon while writing the content for this episode, I decided that I wanted something similar, like a futuristic science fiction drama kind of a book to read. And that's when I remember there is something similar that people have been discussing on Goodreads, and immediately I went ahead and ordered it, and that is the Illuminae series. Oops, sorry. I will show you the books individually. The book has a quite interesting visual layout, quite different and quite unique from the other stuffs that we read. It's and you will understand when I show this. So the first page of the book is here, like this. Can you see? Yeah. And then when we go into it, then you have something like this. It's almost like reading my science textbook from college. Then you have something like this, right? And this. So you can see how different it is. The book, the entire book is like that. Yeah. So it kind of looks very different. I always like to read different kind of books, different formats of book. And also, while going through the review in Goodreads, I understood that it has an amazing audiobook as well. So I might read it while listening to the audiobook, because I heard that there is a full cast of characters, and I really like that, because when I was reading Sadie, that's what really interested me, because the when there is a whole full cast of characters narrating the story, I really love it. So I will definitely try to read it along with listening to the audiobook. And this is how the second book in the series looks like. uh, Again, beautiful cover and similar format. I'm sorry, it's too bright for you to see, but I hope you can see at least some things. And the third book is the Obsidio. God, I can't wait until I read this. It's really interesting, and I'm really curious to know what's up with this format, because except for what I'm looking at now, I haven't looked into the books yet. So, yeah, I will let you know soon enough. Now, I cannot stress enough how much I like to read different books. I like books with representation and diverse books. So, in an attempt to avoid the same Eurocentric kind of stories, I decided that I should try reading something more different and non-white. Then I remember that in my bookshelf there has been a book series that was waiting for such a long time, which is the Empire of the Mughal series, which is this set of 5 books. They all have beautiful cover art. The first book in the series is Raiders from the North. This is the story of Babur, the emperor, and I've heard very good reviews about this. It's one of the best-selling book series. The second book is about his son Humayun, which is Brothers at War. Even the cover is so beautiful. And then you have the third book, which is about the Emperor Akbar, and it's set in India, as I see. Keep your enemies close and your sons closer. That's what it says on the cover. Yeah, I think it's a good advice. The name of the book is Ruler of the World. Fourth book in the series is The Tainted Throne, and this is the story of Jahangir. Jahangir, the newly crowned ruler of most of the Indian subcontinent, is unimaginably wealthy and utterly ruthless. But his sons want power at any cost, and no battle is too bloody or treachery too great to stop them. Jahangir has another problem, a terrible weakness for wine and opium. His wife, the clever, cold hearted Mehrunisa, is only too willing to keep up the reins of the empire. Wow, sounds interesting. And the last book, I think it describes the fall of the great empire, which is The Serpent's Tooth. I think it's about Shah Jahan. The cover says the throne is undefined, may the best man win. The vast Mughal Empire still reigns over a quarter of the world's population and has wealth beyond imagining. It is the greatest, most bloodthirsty dynasty ever known, but as a new century advances, the empire's position becomes increasingly perilous. Now is the time for his leader Shah Jahan to secure his position as ruler, but instead he becomes obsessed with building the Taj Mahal, a final epic monument to his dead wife. He is too distracted to notice that his sons, like generations of Mughal princes before them, are planning to seize his throne by any means, however violent. Wow. I am really looking forward to reading this book series. Keeping in line with my diversity theme here, I again wanted to read more diverse fantasy. So I came across the Poppy War. The Poppy War won the best debut for fantasy in 2018. So this is going to be epic. These are the books. Yeah. I'm kind of miffed at Amazon. So they did not have a book set, no, neither did Flipkart. So I checked online many book sites in India. None of them had a book set for this. So I was forced to buy individual books, and then I ordered the three books separately, and I got Poppy War and the Dragon Republic of the same size. Yeah, and then I got the Burning God, which is so bigger than the rest of the books that I was so miffed at Amazon. I mean, why can't they have a book set? This was really disappointing for me in terms of the book format. Yeah, but we have to make do with what we have. Story is about 12th century China. It's an epic military fantasy series. I heard so many good things about it. This is the first time I'm reading an Eastern fantasy, so this should be fun. And R.F. Kuang, who is the author, has been compared to Robin Hobb, the Robin Hobb, and N.K. Jemisin. And I don't know if I have talked about this earlier, but I really, really adored N.K. Jemisin's The Fifth Season. It is one of the best fantasy series out there. If you haven't read it, you have to just pick up and read that book. So different, unique idea she has. Yeah, and then I need to show you the individual covers. So it says parallels with modern Chinese history resonate deeply and darkly in this blood soaked epic of orphans and empresses, gods, and shamans. This is the Dragon Republic. R.F. Kuang's fresh approach to magic and hard hitting story is a punch to the gut fantasy has needed for a long time. That's a blurb by Peter V. Brett. Then you have The Burning God, which is this big ass book. It doesn't have any blurb here, but yeah, interesting. Last year, the best fantasy book that I read was The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. It is book one in the Gentleman Bastard series. I really, really loved it. You might have seen my review of the book. It did take around 100, 200 pages for me to get into the vibe of the book, because till then I found it a drag and I was almost at the verge of DNFing it. But still, I persisted and I'm happy I did, because it was spectacular. The amount of surprises, the twists and the turns and the jump starts Scott Lynch, throws at us in the book is plenty and unforeseeable. I really loved the adventure that we went through. So Undoubtedly, when I was listing down the books or the fantasy book that I wanted to read this year, Gentleman Bastards was in the forefront, and so I picked up the rest of the two books, which is The Red Seas and The Republic of Thieves. The Red Seas has a very interesting cover, and oh my, I love the cover of The Republic of Thieves. Boy, it's gorgeous. Look at that. Wow. And it has a blurb by the George R. Martin, which says fresh and original and engrossing. And if Mr. Martin says that it's a brilliant book, your girl has to read it. I've got to read it. I am going to read it. And I will let you know how I find it. Now, when I say this, I know lovers of fantasy would hate me, or they will be flabbergasted that I have never read a Brandon Sanderson book till now. So, so I decided that because this is a different year for me in terms of reading. I have my booktube channel now. I am connecting a lot with the reading community. I decided that I should read at least one Brandon Sanderson series, which is every fantasy lover's favorite author. I know there are a lot of books that Brandon Sanderson has written that I can choose from, but I decided to start from the Stormlight Archive, and I ordered the first book in the series, which is The Way of King, which has two parts. As you can see, put together, I think they're around 1,000 pages long. This is the first book, The Way of Kings Part 1. This is, it has a blurb by The Guardian, which goes like this: the Stormlight Archive is epic in every sense. Of course it is. And this is The Way of the Kings Part 2. I love this book. A simple blurb by Patrick Rothfuss. So, yeah, I am kicking off my Sanderson journey with The Way of Kings this year. Please welcome me wholeheartedly to the Sanderson fan club, guys. What I'm going to say next might be blasphemy in the fantasy world, which is that I have not completely read the Lord of the Rings series. Okay, now don't stare at me like that. I am going to read it. I am going to come out of the rut that I've been living. I know that it's the most treacherous action any fantasy lover can do, that not read The Lord of the Rings. I have to admit, I did read half of the first book, but that's it. What happened was I started reading The Lord of the Rings when I was in my pre-degree course, and it was a borrowed book from my college library, and then I had to leave the college, return the book, and then it was engineering and university, and as always universities do, they kill the reader in you because you have to read a lot of your study books and then you're busy with your college life. So the reader in me was at least in a coma for a long, long time. So I never got a chance to read it, or even I forgot about it. And now that I have a lot of time for reading in my life, I decided that it's time for me to read The Lord of the Rings. And I picked up the most gorgeous book set ever. I'm very proud of this collection. I think this is the most precious set in my collection. I love, 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 love this book set. And it is a small vinyl uh, cover edition. It's very small and cute. It almost looks like this miniature King James Version Bible. Let me show you each book one by one. So the first book is The Fellowship of the Ring. Oh, I just can't explain how much I adore these books. They are the cutest book that I own. Look at that. And I have a weird flex when it comes to books. I love books with small prints. So I don't know. It might. I think it might stem from the fact that I used to read back when I was a believer. I used to read a lot of Bible every day, and Bible verses or the Bible prints are really small, just like this. So this gives me. Uh, oh my God. Just can't explain how much I love these books. This is the Two Towers, and This is The Return of the King, and I have The Hobbit as well. And together they form these cute quartet, beautiful ones. And it even has this box where you can keep it on the bookshelf for display, so that they are kept in place. Goes like this. Yeah, there you go. How pretty, you know. So that's Lord of the Rings. I am definitely going to read this year. I mean, you can beat me up. You can find me and beat me up if I don't finish this book this year. The last book in this video is not a series as such, but it's part of a series. It is part of the series. It is part of the epic fantasy that everybody knows about and everybody loves. Yes, I'm talking about the Game of Thrones. So I do have the Game of Thrones here book set with me. I have read half of it. I am yet to finish the rest of it. Also, along with the rest of the fanhood, I am still waiting for The Winds of Winter. I really wanted to have a very pretty fantasy book with a lot of illustration, which I never had. So I have this book, which is The World of Ice and Fire. This is a book which takes you through the history of Westeros. It shows the different places of Westeros. Yeah, this is the front page. Can you see how colorful it is? Yeah, and then if I turn, you can see the content page. Look at that writing, look at the font. This is another kind of a title page. Is that Drogon? Maybe. So yeah, this is how it goes. Every page has pictures and stories and a lot of histories and a lot of illustrations. And I am going to really read this book. I don't know whether I will be able to finish this, but you can see in my face how excited I am. I love Game of Thrones. Yeah, but I was also disappointed by season 8 like the rest of you, but still I love Game of Thrones. I love the book. I think I should make a completely different video of my reading experience with Game of Thrones altogether, because there is so much to decipher. You can't just tell it in like 20 seconds what the book was all about and how much I love the book and what is the intricacies of the book and why the book is so wonderful and why George R. R. Martin is the greatest fantasy writer of all time. You may disagree with me, but I wouldn't agree to disagree, because he is the greatest. I really love him. I really adore him. And if I could meet him, oh my god, that would be the greatest thing ever. So yeah, so this was the list of my fantasy series TBR for this year. I don't know how much I can cover it, but looking at the pace of my reading this year, I am pretty confident I can. It's just a matter of me remembering to picking them up, because there are so many wonderful books, to be read in my list. So many non-fantasy as well. So, also do let me know if you have any of your fantasy series in this list which you want to read, or any of your favorite authors. And also please let me know if in your TBR, if you have interesting fantasy series that I did not cover in this video. Maybe I might be inspired and pick them up. You know what to do. Please like and share this video. Also subscribe to my channel so that I get more visibility and I can make more and more interesting videos. Also, if you have any idea of what videos I should do next, please drop in the ideas in the comment box. I will see you in the next video very soon. Bye bye.